We've all heard it, right? That little sound in the darkness, that creak on the stairs, a rustling of the carpet, something so faint you're not even sure if it was there. What if I told you that the culprit was this?
Silliness aside, this little monster is Mr. Bumpy, and he goes bump in the night. Mr. Bumpy just so happens to be the main character for a short-lived, mostly stop animation animated series that originally aired on ABC in 1994 and 95, aptly named Bump in the Night. Mr. Bumpy is supported by his best pal Squishington, a blue blob monster usually called Squishy, and their close friend Miss Molly Coddle, who is a Frankenstein-style ragdoll made of several pieces stitched together. These characters were originally created for use in ad bumpers for ABC's Saturday morning lineup in 1993, which is most likely the origin of Mr. Bumpy's name as a reference. Created by the duo of Ken Pontac and David Blyman, Bump in the Night ran for two 13-episode seasons and even got an hour-long Christmas special to close out the series. Mr. Bumpy and his friends exist in the house of an unnamed family, with occasional appearances of the main children just credited as the boy and little sister, and run around the house at nighttime, getting into adventures and interacting with regular objects. Mr. Bumpy's primary activity at night is seeking out random items to eat. The grosser the better.
If that isn't the most dirtiest, smelliest, full of holesiest sock I ever laid my eyes dogs on! Today at least.
Voiced by the legendary Jim Cummings, who has enough credits to thoroughly be counted as the voice of my childhood, Mr. Bumpy is a pun-heavy wise guy who tends to take quite a bit of abuse without any lasting damage. This show really leaned into the ability to distort and morph the characters due to their clay models. None of it is exactly groundbreaking, but they reuse classic cartoon gags to pretty good effect. There will even be little segments that use CG models of the characters, which 7-year-old me probably thought was the coolest thing ever. The other main cast were no slouches either, with Squishy being voiced by Rob Paulsen, who is probably either Yakko from the Animaniacs or Carl Weezer from Jimmy Neutron, depending on personal taste. Mr. Paulsen is another iconic voice actor with tons of credits to his name, too many to list here.
Republic, Dominican, Cuba, Caribbean, Greenland, El Salvador, too.
Molly is voiced by Gail Mathias, who famously spent time on Saturday Night Live during its darker days in the earlier 80s, but will probably stand out to people who click this video as the Valley Girl voice you heard in so many cartoons back in the day.
Ew, like this requires telekinetic communication, Buster. I'll have to, meld with the meal.
The rest of the main recurring cast also features some great credits to their name, including the likes of Brad Garrett, Cheech Marin, Gilbert Godfrey, and others, with everyone having some fun and putting effort into their performances. That Mr. Bumpy voice sounds like it would kill your throat after a while. Bump in the Night followed the classic format of two short 8 to 10 minute episodes mashed together to form a 30-minute block, including commercials, of course. These stories do not usually connect or really follow any solid form of continuity, resetting the status quo for each episode. As Mr. Bumpy himself states in the theme song, they will encounter and interact with various other monsters, toys, insects, and even sentient clothing to create the various situations for the episodes. The show runs on constant jokes and gross-out humor, for the time at least, and features a lot of physical and musical-based comedy, with character actions being accented by musical stings just like the classics. Characters will also often break the fourth wall and speak directly to the audience, usually to call attention to a pun or a joke. Sometimes it works, and never really gets too bad, all things considered.
Do your worst! There's a little sausage humor there.
A popular part of the show was the musical segment at the end of most episodes titled Mr. Bumpy's Karaoke Cafe, which even featured its own theme music and unique title sequence. The Karaoke Cafe was included in virtually every episode, with it occasionally showing up in the main story itself. Most of the time, it was a standalone musical number performed at the end of an episode by one of the cast members and riffing on popular styles of music with mostly original songs. We had some decent music and cartoons back then, didn't we? After running its course on network TV, Bump in the Night was purchased by Deke Entertainment in 1996, even though the company had no prior involvement in the show. Reruns of Bump in the Night were later featured on Toon Disney from 1998 to 2001. If you remember watching this one back in the day, let me know what channel you caught it on and when down in the comments. That or one of your favorite Karaoke Cafe songs. Mine is probably, why do you like me?
I am blue, you are green. You like messy and I like clean. We're day and night, no in between. So why do you like me?
Why do I like you?
Seriously, this show has some of the top voices from back in the day, and just tell me they don't sound like they were having fun with these roles. You can find most of the Karaoke Cafe segments online, with episodes of the show not being too hard to find either. It could be a fun little stroll down memory lane if you think of Mr. Bumpy fondly. So keep your eyes peeled and your ears open at night, and listen for those little squishes and bumps. You never know what kind of adventure is happening right in your own home. Thank you so much for watching, and happy Halloween if you catch this one during the spooky season. I appreciate your time either way. Please consider subscribing if you enjoyed this video, and know that I'm always open to suggestions for future topics down in the comments. I try to alternate between video games and shows/movies that I enjoy, so hopefully I will cover something else that you like in the future. I've been Dr. Ursa, and until next time, take care.